campus security officers on Marshall Street, like just kind of patrolling, because that's really scary.
Speaking out about that man that was arrested last week right near the university, I'll tell you what they're saying.
It means sleepless nights. It means endless worry. It means a pit in your stomach.
Plus, a first-hand look at life in Gaza. Hear from an Israeli mother with family fighting in the IDF, what she told students when she was on campus.
And another false report, DPS investigating a false bomb threat at the Maxwell School.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
DPS is reporting another false call of a threat at Maxwell Hall. Welcome into News Live at 6. I'm Benjamin Schiller.
And I'm Katie Fongvongsa. Tyler O'Donnell is live now at Maxwell Hall where the threat was reported. Tyler, how is the campus reacting?
Thank you, guys. The campus is having a couple of worries about the whole situation. This is the third event that's happened in the past week at Maxwell. The first two happened on Sunday and Monday, respectively. Those were false swatting incidents. Now, this was a false bomb threat, and one student told me they're a bit concerned why DPS didn't notify them sooner.
It's just kind of crazy that it's like 3 times in 1 week or like 3 times in 2 weeks. It's a little bit excessive. I mean, I don't know what's going on. It's weird that it's always Maxwell, right? Like, I mean, I feel like there's got to be something going on.
There you have it. They are concerned that this was always Maxwell. Now, DPS is still investigating the exact cause or who is making these false reports, and we'll have further updates as the situation develops. Guys?
Tyler O'Donnell, thank you. We continue our coverage tonight with the incident that happened on Marshall Street last Tuesday when a man was arrested for taking inappropriate photos.
Now we are hearing how students are reacting to this. Let's go live to Citrus TV reporter Max Williams, who has been closely following this for us. Max, good evening.
Ben and Katie, good evening. It's been about just a week since that man was arrested here on Marshall Street, just steps away from Syracuse University. And guys, students are just still in shock. Some Syracuse students tonight are still on edge after police say a 30-year-old male was taking inappropriate photos of people. This all happening just a block away from the university.
My dorm is pretty close to Marshall Street. You know, I would like to feel safe where I live, and like just walking on Marshall Street to get something to eat. I don't want people to be taking pictures of me.
I hope that the school will do something that can prevent another situation like that from happening. So hopefully this will be something that can wake us all up.
Thomas B. Cruda was found and later arrested by the Syracuse City Police Department on Marshall Street last Tuesday. This is a 2-minute drive from where the original 911 call came in and only a short walk from campus. But while the arrest was being made, things quickly took a dangerous turn.
I tried to flee in his vehicle, drove forward, hit a parked car, drove backwards, hit a parked car. During that struggle while the officer was in the car, there was a violent dog inside, had bit the officer across the face.
Cruda was being charged with second-degree unlawful surveillance, obstruction of governmental administration, resisting arrest and aggravated assault, and tampering with physical evidence. But tonight, Thomas's mother, Andrea, is speaking out in an exclusive interview. She believes her son did nothing wrong that afternoon.
Syracuse police is saying the call came in of suspicious activity at 1100 East Genesee at 3:07. And I was on the phone with them at 3:14, 7 minutes after. And I was under the assumption he was making a delivery.
With the cold upstate New York temperatures, she can't imagine her son being able to take inappropriate photos of anyone.
Taking pictures of girls' skirts this time of year, and as cold as it was that day, I don't see too many college students that are out here in skirts. You know, most people are fully dressed. That's the biggest red flag right there.
Despite Andrea's denial of her son's actions, Syracuse City Police Lieutenant Matthew Malinowski says this is not the only time they have dealt with him.
He was known by us, and we've had previous interactions.
We asked the Syracuse University spokesperson to comment on the situation, but they said, quote, "There's not much we can offer, as it's SPD doing the investigation." It tells us tonight that her son remains behind bars and the dog was just put into quarantine as the investigation continues. Live in Syracuse, Max Williams, Citrus TV News.
Max Williams, thank you. Well, stay on campus. The Chabad House at SU hosted a speaker event to inform students on the war happening in the Middle East. The Israeli speaker's husband and 3 adult children are involved in the Israeli Defense Force. Citrus TV reporter Leah Cohn spoke with her about her goal to educate others. Good evening, Leah.
Thanks, Ben. About 50 Syracuse University students and members of the greater Syracuse community joined together at Chabad yesterday. They listened to an Israeli tour guide share her experience right now supporting Israeli forces. During the October attacks in Gaza, Leanna Rothstein witnessed her family and friends evacuate their homes and support the Israeli forces. At Chabad, she spoke to attendees wanting to spread awareness of her reality of her homeland.
And so this is not a war of a two-state solution. This is a war that takes us back to 1948. This is a war for our right to exist. And when I say our, I mean our.
After the Hamas attacks on October 7th, Leanna became unemployed as a tour guide. She now volunteers helping wounded IDF soldiers and evacuees. Leanna says she wanted to speak at the university to help Jewish students facing anti-Semitism and educate everyone on the history of the conflict and now war in the Middle East.
And you will read not just this, but many other excerpts that talk about the annihilation, the destruction of the state of Israel, and the killing of Jews. That has not changed.
Leanna Rothstein is traveling around the country speaking on the war. The co-founder and president of Syracuse's End Anti-Semitism Now organization, Brian Raphael, worked with Chabad and Hillel to host a speaker in order to help support SU Jewish students.
One thing that we want to do as a community is to support them, to reach out, make sure that they feel comfortable, make sure that they feel safe, make sure that they don't feel attacked.
Rothstein's eldest daughter works in the military reserve force, her other daughter an officer in the IDF, her son going into the Army, and her husband is a paratrooper. She says it is not easy having her whole family in possible harm's way.
It means sleepless nights. It means endless worry. It means a pit in your stomach. It means that when you see them putting on a uniform and going off to war, that you don't know when they're going to come back.
Leanna Rothstein is continuing to travel around the country speaking about her experience. Chabad and Hillel will continue hosting events for Jewish Syracuse University students. More information can be found on chabadsu.com and syracusehillel.org.
Thanks, Leah. Earlier today, students gathered at the Joyce Hergenhan Auditorium to discuss being black in the media industry with a panel of SU professors.
Citrus reporter Jackson Breslin was at the event and heard how the professors dealt with issues of race throughout their career. Good evening, Jackson.
Thanks, Katie and Ben. The panel consisted of 7 SU professors from 4 different departments in Newhouse. They sat down with students to talk about navigating the media environment and life as African Americans. One professor, Roosevelt Wright, told audience members about his unlikely journey to Syracuse.
I grew up in racism and segregation. When I was a young man growing up in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, African American kids, we couldn't even go to the public library. The first time I ever was in school with students who were white is when I came to Syracuse University with my PhD.
Now, the panel was not just a chance to hear these professors speak about their career journey. Each professor talked about the importance of using the power of Newhouse to their advantage.
There are too many opportunities in this building, on this campus, at your fingertips, that you allow someone who looked at you sideways, someone who said something and thought something and may have even felt something, to stop you from getting what you came here for.
Many students admitted that lack of diversity in campus organizations can be intimidating to join, but the message was clear. It's time to take action and make a change. Reporting in studio, I'm Jackson Breslin, Citrus TV News.
Thanks, Jackson. Today, VPA Career Services held an industry day for students.
Our reporter Lizzie Gottlieb attended the event where students met with professionals. Lizzie, fill us in what took place at the event.
Thanks, guys. Central Career Services partnered with VPA Career Services to host this one-day event. Syracuse alumni returned to share their professional advice. Take a look at what the event offered to students. Today at the Sheraton Hotel, VPA Industry Day had opportunities for students to network with VPA alumni and professionals in a full-day event. Various panel discussions taught students important information about the industry. Syracuse alum Nancy Taylor chaired a discussion on dealing with disappointment, where she shares her advice.
From that disappointment and from those experiences that are challenging, that you can still get really great things out of them. You know, keep a list and take note of the things that they're learning at different internships or jobs or whatever it may be, because you often forget that you know how to do all of the incredible things you know how to do.
Students were offered the chance to speak one-on-one with professionals in their future career paths. Student Bridget Backer says Industry Day is her favorite event.
Because I just get to learn more about jobs within my industry in general, just through different people and just learning about their processes, getting into the music industry, their lives as Syracuse students, because some of them are Syracuse alumni too, which is really great to have those connections.
This event taught students how to navigate all aspects of the industry. Starting next year, the VPA Industry Day will take place in the fall. For students who missed the event, contact VPA Career Services at syr.edu. Back to you, Ben and Katie.
Lizzie, thank you. You know, the weather in Syracuse the last couple of days have been rocky. I mean, last weekend it was a gorgeous weekend. Now today I'm walking in the studio and it's snowing outside.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cold, but I don't know if this cold weather is here to stay. Our CitrusTV weather anchor, Moira, is in studio. Moira, tell us more.
Katie, I'm going to break the news to everyone. This cold weather is here to stay. A very different report than the one I gave last week, where I was just jumping up and down, happy about the sunshine, because right now it is 29 degrees out, feeling like 21 with a light chance of snow as the night goes on. We saw this snow earlier today, and we might be seeing it later on when it is 28 degrees out, also feeling like 21. There are 10-mile-per-hour winds, so definitely be on the lookout for those winds. Now, looking across the region, we are still in that low 30s, high 20s temperature range. Ithaca at 27, Binghamton 26, Rome at 25, Fulton at 29. We're really just seeing those cold temperatures, those normal February weather. I'll be back later tonight with our 5-day forecast, guys.
Thanks, Moira. Let's stick here in Syracuse with the go-ahead given to tear down the I-81 viaduct. The city of Syracuse wants to hear from you. Mayor Ben Walsh announcing 2 open houses for later this month. Residents can share their thoughts about the Community Grid Vision Plan on the 27th from 5 to 7 at Dr. King Elementary School and on the 28th from 5 to 7 at Lincoln Middle School. The plan aims to make the most positive impact out of the 81 teardown project. The city plans to release the vision plan online next Wednesday.
And 5 festivals are coming to Syracuse's Inner Harbor this year. For the solar eclipse on April 8th, there's a solar party on Solar Street. The 5th annual Battle of the Wings is set for mid-May. There's craft beer live performances and fireworks. A new event this year, Pizza and Pasta Festival in July, celebrates Italian cuisine. 2 more returning events, Taco and Margarita Festival is in early August, and Inner Harbor Fest is in late September. The Inner Harbor Fest includes the Dragon Boat races.
A national clothing chain will shut down its doors in Destiny, USA. Forever 21 announcing it will close at the end of March. The store opened in 2012. It was once a 2-level store. The chain closed 200 stores in 2020 while working to reinvent itself as more shoppers went online. The store will now have a 50% off sale.
Syracuse police are investigating a confrontation between a female and a teacher at Lincoln Middle School. Syracuse City School District Superintendent Anthony Davis sent an email to parents this morning. He says the person was not authorized to be in the instructional areas of the building when they assaulted the teacher. An attack on a teacher on school grounds can land the suspect a charge for assault in the 2nd degree.
A plan to pay back survivors of abuse by the Roman Catholic Diocese of Syracuse may be in trouble. A government-appointed trustee is asking a judge to reject a proposed reorganization of the plan. The trustee says the diocese doesn't have enough money to pay its share, but that's not it. Part of the plan was for survivors to waive their right to sue the diocese, that being challenged at the U.S. Supreme Court. The plan was supposed to be the 2nd biggest payout to survivors of the abuse by the church.
An 18-year-old will spend 3 years on probation for killing Manlius' famous swan, Faye. The teen and 2 other high school students were arrested back in May. They claimed they didn't know the swan belonged to the city. The 18-year-old pled guilty back in December to misdemeanor animal cruelty. The 2 other teens who are younger than 18 will have their records sealed. Faye's babies are likely the last swans that will live in Manlius. Their breed of swans is considered invasive. And coming up, an update from Kansas City, the step law enforcement has taken after the fatal shooting at the Super Bowl parade.
Plus, one of Putin's biggest opponents dead in a Russian jail who President Biden says to blame. After the break.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way. No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early, when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
You're watching CitrusTV News live at 6 with Benjamin Schiller, Katie Fongvongsa, and Moira Vaughan. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. New York Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli releasing a report last night on the pandemic's lasting effect on jobs. While the state unemployment rate sits at a pre-pandemic level, the report shows not all jobs have been gained back.
The state has recovered almost 95% of the jobs lost since April 2020, but New York is falling behind the rest of the nation. Ranking 47th in employment rebounding post-pandemic, the report points to a lack of government jobs for the setback.
And moving downstate now, just hours ago, former President Donald Trump was officially deemed liable for submitting fraudulent financial statements to the state. Attorney General Letitia James will force Trump Sr. to pay nearly $355 million for the falsified statements. These statements allowed Trump to attain favorable loans and insurance policies.
The former president is not alone, though. Both his sons will also pay $4 million each. Judge Arthur Engoron says the Trump family submitted blatantly false financial data. Engoron is also barring Trump and his sons from leading any businesses or applying for any loans in the state for 3 years.
And let's move across the country to Kansas City. We have new details on the horrific shooting at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade on Wednesday. Jackson County Court announcing 2 teens are being held behind bars at the county's juvenile detention center. The judge citing gun-related charges and resisting arrest.
More charges are expected to come as the investigation continues. The number of those injured in the shooting has now risen to 22 people. The suspects' names have yet to be released because they are minors.
In international news, Russia's opposition leader has died in prison. Alexei Navalny led nationwide protests against Russian President Vladimir Putin for more than a decade. He was serving a 19-year jail sentence. Russia's penitentiary service says Navalny felt unwell after a walk and lost consciousness this morning.
Navalny has previously survived multiple poisoning attempts, which he blamed on Putin. President Biden reacted to the news, making clear who he thinks is responsible.
Make no mistake. Putin is responsible for Navalny's death. Putin is responsible. What has happened to Navalny is yet more proof of Putin's brutality.
And coming up after the break, I'll be giving you your 5-day forecast and activities you can look forward to this weekend. Stay with us.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Now this week we're going to be seeing a little bit of everything when it comes to the weather. On Saturday and Sunday we're going to be seeing those 29 to 31 degree weather, some chilly temperatures and the snow. But looking on the brighter side of things, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday the sun will be coming out again. Still a little bit chilly on Monday with 28 degrees out. But Tuesday and Wednesday you can take away that parka and put on a lighter jacket because it's going to be 41 and 48 degrees. Now if you're looking for something to beat the gloomy weather, I found 4 fun events that Syracuse is doing this weekend that look super fun to me. Now I can't ice skate and I'm really bad at it, but if you are coordinated enough, I would go to the Skating Tennis Pavilion this tomorrow night to do some ice skating. Orange After Dark is holding a water park event where they're going to be taking students to the water parks. I can't even remember the last time I went to a water park. That sounds so much fun. There's a lead lineman clinic on Barnes Center on Sunday, and that will be teaching students how to climb walls. And if you're interested in skiing and snowboarding, you can go to Labrador Mountain, and you can find all these events on the Syracuse calendar schedule. Guys?
I'll have to check out those recommendations, Moira. Well, if you feel like food recalls are on the rise, you are not wrong. Back in 2018, the FDA recalled 22 products. 2 years ago in 2022, they recalled 310. That's an increase of 14 times, Katie.
The FDA says better technology is causing the change. The new tech makes it easier to trace a foodborne illness back to the product itself. Health experts add it's not necessarily a bad thing to have more recalls if less dangerous foods are sneaking through the FDA.
Well, this talk of food recall is killing my appetite. Let's hope SU men's basketball is still hungry after its upset at UNC. Find out if the Orange have a sweet matchup tomorrow when we come back with sports.
Jason, let's go see your room.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
After its first-ranked win, Syracuse men's basketball faces a foe ranked towards the ACC's cellar. Welcome into sports. I'm Ian Nicholas. Don't let Georgia Tech's 3-11 conference record fool you, though. Those 3 wins came against Clemson, Duke, and SU's latest victim, number 7 North Carolina. But since GT beat UNC, it's lost 4 straight. Syracuse aims to avoid the trap it fell in last year when the Orange dropped 4 in a row after their lone top 25 win. For the live post-game coverage, watch Orange Press Pass at 9:30. From the men's side of a women's side, we go to South Beach, where the Hurricanes have the third best defense in the ACC, and they turn some defense into offense, and they keep it tight in the first quarter. But the Orange lead by double digits in the third, and Elena Rice has quadruple digits in her career as a scorer. 1,000 points for the Florida native. Did it in front of her parents. She also did that in front of her parents. Turned the ball over. Miami pulls within 5 late in the fourth quarter. But when you need 3, you turn to number 6 on the all-time scoring list in women's college basketball, De'Asia Fair with the dagger. SU wins by 11. Fair finishes with 14. And Syracuse with 21 wins, already more than it had all of last year. On the turf, number 5 Syracuse men's lacrosse can snag its most impressive win in 3 years tomorrow against number 4 Maryland. SU hasn't squashed a top 5 team in 10 tries. Now, hoops honcho Red Autry got his first signature victory a few days ago, but his colleague Gary Gate, now in his 3rd season, says the time is now to get his.
Show the lacrosse world, the development that we've had from last year to this year, and to represent the 2024 team. We want to show up and demonstrate that we're capable of competing in top 5 games.
Syracuse competed with the top 5 Maryland squad this time a year ago, but fell by 3. Sophomore Joey Spallina, who's got 26 points in SU's first 3 games, was held to 1 goal against the Terps. To see if number 22 bounces back tomorrow, follow @Adam_Gotkin on Twitter for live updates. Don't worry, you're not seeing double. The Terps takeover actually starts on the women's side. While Spallina's squad came up short to UMD last spring, Coach Kayla Trainer's crew slowed the Turtles to a halt. The Orange beat the Terrapins by 9 in their worst loss since 2021. This rivalry goes back to the late 90s, though, and Maryland's won 23 of 26. Follow @Rahil Jaswal on Twitter for updates. Guys, back over to you.
Thanks, Ian. When we come back, we'll have your wake-up weather for you.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Tomorrow morning, we're looking at 24 degrees with the sun out tomorrow, thankfully.
That's Citrus TV News Live at 6 for this Friday. I'm Katie Fongvongsa.
And I'm Benjamin Schiller. Have a great night, Syracuse.